If you're in sales, marketing, or just networking, you've probably heard the term ideal customer profile thrown around. But let's be real, are you using it the right way? Here's the deal. Defining your ICP isn't just some checkbox in your sales playbook. It's the difference between a deal that closes and one that ghosts you. Let's break it down. First, let's get on the same page. Your ICP isn't just anyone who's going to buy your product. It's a specific, detailed profile of your absolute best fit customers. We're talking industry, company size, job title, pain points, the works. Companies that have a well-defined ideal customer profile have a win rate that's up to 68% higher than those without, according to HubSpot. Think of it like making a piece of art. Not all artists use the same materials. Some might work better with clay, some might work better with acrylic paint, some might only be geniuses with a camera in their hands. Combine a well-defined ICP with a technique like go-to-network and you've hit the jackpot. Go-to-network is when you leverage your existing network to find potential customers. Pretty much finding warm introductions in your network to get warmer pipeline and to close more deals. Warm intros work the most effectively when you go after the best leads, also known as the ones that are in your ICP. Intros aren't just about getting connected, they're about getting connected to the right people. Here's how you might see the power of a well-defined ICP showing up in your sales process. Let's say you're asking your network for an intro. If you say, hey, do you know anyone that might be interested in our product? That's vague. You're putting the work on them to figure out who might be relevant for you. That person is gonna have to think through hundreds, if not thousands of their connections to see who's gonna be a good fit for you, and they're probably not gonna do all that work. But if you say, hey, I'm looking for heads of RevOps at Series B SaaS companies located in North America, boom. Now you're making it easy for them to say, oh, I know someone. And not only do you need to be specific, you also need to be accurate. If you say, hey, I'm looking for introductions to CROs in tech, your connector might introduce you to a CRO in tech, but that CRO might be a cybersecurity type of CRO. But you're actually looking for CROs in MarTech. That's not a good fit, and ultimately the deal's gonna fall through the cracks. How many times can you ask a connector for an introduction and watch the deal fall through the cracks because you didn't request the right ICP before they get tired of using social capital on you? Or even how many hours are you willing to waste meeting with the wrong people? The answer to both of those questions should be less than the number of talons on your dinosaur claw. Here's a simple framework that you can use to help define your ICP. One is firmographics. What industry, company sizes, or regions are your best customers in? An example might be cybersecurity 51 to 250 employees located in EMEA. Second is job titles and functions. Who's actually making the buying decisions? Is it an individual contributor or a C-suite level executive? Maybe this looks like mid-level sales managers. Next is pain points. What problems are your buyers currently facing? The pain points should be the issues that your solution solves. Like if your product helps companies find more warm intros for sales, maybe the company knows that networking is useful in sales, but they're not really sure how to operationalize it and scale it. And the last thing to define is buying triggers. What event will make the pain points absolutely unbearable and make your solution a necessity? This could look like the company started using an Excel spreadsheet to track their networks and it's just not sustainable. The more specific you get, the better. And if you're not sure where to start, looking at your best customers today. What do they look like? Is there a pattern in job titles? Do they all come from the same industry? What pain points brought them looking for your services? And if you happen to be a company in the FinServ, SaaS, cybersecurity, or IT consulting industries with 200 to 1,000 employees, raised VC or PE money in the last year, and you're hiring sales reps, hit me up. So now that you have your ICP dialed in, let's make it actionable. In your sales process, before you even think of making a cold call or sending a cold email, we always recommend that you check for a warm intro first. If you know someone that knows your prospect, leverage that. When asking for a warm intro, be hyper specific. Give your network a clear picture of who you're trying to sell to. Like in the earlier example, it puts a lot less work on the connector when you have a clear picture of who your ICP looks like. And if you're using Commsor, being specific and accurate is critical. Our platform searches your network based on persona. So the clearer you are about who you want to reach, the better our tools will work to find you the best warm introduction pathways. You're going to want to input your ICP criteria in the persona section so we can surface the best warm intros. Personas just help Commsor automatically filter your network for the ideal customer profile. You can set these up in your workspace settings. To create a persona, click your profile icon, go to your workspace settings, and click persona. On that page, select plus new persona. Here you can fill out individual people criteria as well as firmographic type of information. For example, to target senior sales leaders at companies of 50 to 500 people, go ahead and enter this information. Vice President and C-suite, business development and sales, company size 51 to 200 and 200 to 500. Once the persona is saved, then you can create playbooks in Commsor, and we will only look for people that match this criteria. And playbooks can be targeted for more than one persona if you'd like. And finally, make sure that you iterate your ICP definition. Maybe you realize that your product is more geared towards companies with a larger number of employees because the more data it has, the better it functions. Or maybe you realize that your product works best with the type of technology that's already installed in a lot of hospitals, so you want to target the healthcare industries. All that to say, your ICP isn't set in stone. Refine it as you learn more. You can try talking to your customer success managers to see which type of customers are happiest after they sign, or you can look for patterns in your closed-won deals. Do deals tend to come from one lead source, or are you doing anything in particular to affect a deal's closing? Maybe you can review your website traffic to see which pages your audience is spending the most time on. Specifically, are they more focused on privacy policies, or are they looking more at your blog and tactical tips to do whatever your product does? That might help shape the conversations you're having and with who you're having them with. Or instead of all that, you can just go right to the source and talk to your prospects and customers. Which customers tend to be the happiest and which tend to be repeat customers? That's where you'll get the deepest insights around your ICP. And if you'd like to learn more about how you can use warm introductions to fill your pipeline, go ahead and watch this video here.